Hi everyone, my name is Sana May M. Fernandez, and for today's lectures, we'll talk about the timeline of Philippine Indigenous arts. First, we discuss the pre-colonial period on March 16, 1521. The pre-colonial period is when our indigenous ancestors inhabited the Philippines and the time before the coming of our first colonizer. Arts in this time were for ritual purposes or everyday use only. As local communities were established, art starts to go beyond mere crafts, stone weapons, or jewelry, but starts to have decorative elements, meaning, and context. Literature. It can be in written and oral form. Cave drawings and writings are the earliest forms of written literature, and rituals. Chants and storytelling are the earliest forms of oral literature. So as you can see as the picture, the cave drawings and writings mo na siyang example sa pre-colonial period. Visual arts, sculptures, paintings, and pottery were the widely known form of visual arts in the pre-colonial period, such as the tattoos from the pintados in Panay, the bulol that is a wooden sculpture of the rice god of Ifugaos, and the Manunggol burial jar that was found in Palawan. Architecture. Earliest Filipinos are known to be dwelling in caves. Ang music na ginagamit nila is they use wind instruments. Dance, they imitate the movements of animal and natures. So the second is Spanish colonial period 1521 to 1898. When the Spaniards arrived in the Philippines in 1521, the colonizer used art as a tool to propagate the Catholic faith through beautiful images. With communication as a problem, the friars used images to explain the concepts behind Catholicism and to tell the stories of Christ's life and passion. Literature. Baybayin from Mangyans of Mindoro was one of the only preserved traditional writings of the Filipinos, and the Doctrina Christiana, the teaching of Christianity, was introduced by the Spaniard. Visual arts. Most of the artworks express a hidden desire for rebellion against Spain, such as the Basi Revolt, that is a series of 14 paintings by Esteban Villanueva. Carta Hidrográfica y Corográfica de las Islas Filipinas. That is the first scientific map of the Philippines by Francisco Suarez and Nicolas de Cruz Bagay. Spolarium by Juan Luna Wuns as the gold medalist in Spain. Virgins Christianas Exprestas al Populacho by Felix Resurrection Hidalgo, that won as a silver medalist in Madrid, Spain. Architecture. Plaza Complex was introduced. Churches were built in cruciform following the shape of the Latin cross. Churches are Baroque in design, but Filipino design was incorporated. Houses are known to be bahay na bato or bahay na tisa. Sculpture. Santos are made of ivory or wood. Reliefs are known to be the facade of churches. The carrozza or the plateria, that is a pedestal used in religious Catholic procession where an image is loaded. Music and dance, Passion or Pabasa, that narrates about the Passion of Christ, is introduced in 1742. Kundiman, Filipino love song flourish. The opening of the Suez Canal galleon trade was performed with the dances Pandango, Tango, Polka, Danza, Rigidon, Habanera, and Juta. Theater, Zarzuela or Zarzuela was developed. It is a Spanish lyric dramatic genre that alternates spoken and song scenes, the latter incorporating operatic and popular song as well as dance. Sinakolo or the Passion Play, that is a dramatic presentation depicting the Passion of Jesus Christ, His trial, suffering, and death. It is a traditional part of Lent in several Christian denominations, particularly in the Catholic tradition. Comedia, that was created by Spanish priests in 1637. It is a play written to dramatize the recent capture by a Christian Filipino army of an Islamic stronghold. It has different versions, which are the Moro-Moro of the Tagalogs and the Aragyo or Arakyo of Nueva Ecija. Third is the American colonial period in 1898 to 1940. The American colonial period was classical in nature, and the artworks are in neoclassical and modern form. One of their greatest contributions to the Philippines is the educational system. Architecture. All architectural design are classical in nature, including Art Deco design on buildings and houses. City planning was a huge step in the development of Manila, where major buildings are neoclassical in design, the same design used in Washington, D.C. During this time, Daniel Burnham commissioned to design Manila and Baguio, while William Parsons implemented the Burnham plans. Theater. Vaudeville is a theatrical genre of variety entertainment born in France at the end of the 19th century. A vaudeville was originally a comedy without psychological or moral intentions, based on a comical situation, a dramatic composition, or light poetry, interspersed with songs or ballads. Vaudeville was popular in the Philippines during the American period up to the Japanese occupation. Visual arts. Fernando Marcelo became famous during the American period because of his paintings that depict Filipino culture, and Guillermo Tolentino with his famous sculptures, the UP Oblation in 1935 and the Bonifacio Monument in 1933. Fourth is the Japanese colonial period in 1942 to 1945. The arrival of the Japanese caused tremendous fear, hardships, and suffering among the Filipinos. The Filipino way of life was greatly affected during the Japanese period. The Filipinos lost their freedom of speech and expression. The development of art was also stopped, resulting in being the dark period of the Philippine history. It is also during this period where modern art slowly penetrating the art world. Most of the artworks depict the sentiments of artists during the war. Modern artists emerged, such as Victorio Idades together with Carlos Butong Francisco and Galo Hernandez, who were considered as the triumvirates that pioneered modern arts in the country. Next is contemporary period, 1970 to present. Contemporary arts mirrors contemporary culture and society, offering the general audiences rich resources to consider current ideas and rethink the familiar. The work of contemporary artists is a dynamic combination of materials, methods, concepts, and subjects that challenges traditional boundaries and defies easy definition. Diverse and eclectic contemporary art is distinguished by the very lack of a uniform organizing principle, ideology, or ism. In this time, culture and art became highlighted during the Marcos regime, with Imelda Marcos thought of having a home for the arts, and the cultural center of the Philippines was built.